Blessed good morning to one and all. And to one and all a blessed good morning. I'm here doing a video of I'm going to do a video of St. Michael's Cathedral, which is in Bridgetown, Barbados. I'm going to do a video starting from the Constitution River with taxis and minibus terminal. So this is where the minibuses and the other vans go from. The taxis and minibuses go through here. We are looking up towards the Queen's Park North Gate here. Governor General's Gate, Queen's Park North Gate. This way is St. Michael's Road here. St. Michael's Road here. I'm not walking through church, but it's green by this central bank. So this is the central bank of Barbados. And this is Church Village Green. People used to live out here. All out here was houses, but then around 2005 or so, they pushed down the houses and relocated the residents to various neighborhoods, Lower Burney and the Pine and them areas. They put the residents up in here, and they put the residents there and refurbished the area as a park where persons can come in and relax. Let me cross this road here now. So, ahead of the Central Bank of Barbados. This is the church here that I plan to visit once again. I went here already this week and did a video. I will go back again. You see the Central Bank of Barbados ahead of me. The Central Bank here and the Courtney Blackman Grand Salle. So this is the cathedral here again. Courtney Blackman Grand Salle, where persons have musical concerts there. Just have musical concerts. Calling my hall here is where they have musical concerts. The Courtney Blackman Grand Salle is where they have art exhibitions. But the Calling Hall is where they have concerts and choirs that sing and chorales and so on, especially at Christmas time. Calling Hall is all situated here at the Central Bank of Barbados. St. Michael's Cathedral in Bridgetown, the head Anglican church in Barbados. So again, this is the former Masonic Lodge where the Masons used to hold their meetings. First of all, this was the Harrison's College School first. Harrison's College was established at this site in 1733. And then the Masons later acquired it. The Masons later acquired it when Harrison's College moved to Fountain Street. And then afterwards, the central bank bought it over. After the central bank moved from here, the central bank bought it over. After the lodges moved, the lodges built one big building in St. George and Charles River Bridge. So they moved from here, and all of them gone up to St. George now. So central bank bought it over. So to give you guys a little sneak peek, this is the main alley through here, where it is said that the name Amen Alley came about because back in slavery time, the slaves couldn't go inside the cathedral. So when the priest was finished preaching, the slaves used to say Amen. That's how the name Amen Alley came about. This is Sprite Street here, very popular discount supermarket, Sprite Street, Sprite in Bridgetown. Robert Street here. Going to the church now. The head Anglican church. Exchange, a place of mystery and discovery. With the former Palisades College schools and then the Masonic Lodge. When the lodge was in here, the cathedral used to keep the Sunday school classes in here. So this is all the central bank. Discount supermarket here at Sprite Street. Discount supermarket here at Sprite Street. The Cathedral of St. Michael's and Our Angels. History of the cathedral here. This is the church here. This is the main Anglican church here in Barbados. This is a historic church. Tourists visit this church daily. Take a good look at it before I go in. I'm working in the church again. It's in the church. So again, I'm back in my favorite church. The Cathedral Church of St. Michael's and All Angels. This is the baptismal font here, where babies are christened. So under our feet are some tombs as well. So they're decorating the church and preparing the church for Sunday service. Under our feet are some tombs. The remains of Mistress Eleanor Farley, the lamented wife of Isaac Farley, Esquire of Barbados in Guyana. Sincere in her friendships, she was a duteous and affectionate daughter, the kindest, tenderest of sisters. In her household, she was careful and diligent. To her servants, humane and indulgent. To all is dispensing good. As a wife, exemplary, firmness and integrity of mind. She was the diligent of her affectionate husband, the studious promoter of his comfort, his surest trust and unfailing consolation, living the object of his fondest solicitude, now of his deep and lasting regret. This looks like it is in Latin or something. I'm in the largest Anglican church in the Caribbean and in the West Indies. To the memory of the late William Allen Lord Corby, Captain Royal Navy. So this is a very historic church over here. You can see the pipe organ upstairs. The pipes for the organ is upstairs. As they always say, and I will say again, this is the largest organ in the Americas and in the Caribbean and in Barbados as well. So I want to show the organ.
Yes, sir. Come here a little bit. Bring on from
That
you. I see the things and pictures here from there.
documented Barbados. Documented Barbados.
Documented by that.
Yeah. So this is the organ here. The organ console here. So this organ was played by some great organists. The main one is John Bryan, who is the organist of present organist. This is the where the keys are for the organ. It is a J. Walker and Sons pipe organ. So under the organ is a tomb as well. So this organist, the three well-known organists for this cathedral was Gerald Hudson, John Fletcher, and then John Bryan. In memorial to Gerald Hudson, born October 13, 1897 in Lancashire, England, organist and choir master of this cathedral of St. Michael's and Our Angels from 1921 to 1974, organist emeritus from 1974 to 1975. He died January 15, 1975. This tablet is erected in his memory by his ever thankful choristers. The chapel here, this is the choir stall. You can see the beautiful stained glass windows. The Lady Chapel and the choir stall. You can see the bishop's throne. The choir stalls here and the bishop's throne here. Always pay a visit to this church whenever I come into town, or some of the time they come into town. So the list of organists who served this church from 1701 from 1701 to present. As I said before, Gerald Hudson was the organist here from 1921 to 1974. Then John Fletcher from 1974 to 1993. And then John Bryan from 1994 to present. When John Fletcher was the organist here, this church used to produce a lot of records. John Fletcher was the organist here from 1974 to 1993. He used to produce a lot of records and CDs, and the choir used to travel all in Europe and in the States to perform. So this is the organ console at St. Michael's Cathedral. in memory of His Excellency Major General Sir Evan J. Murray McGregor, Baronet, Chief of the Clan Gregor, Governor of Antigua in 1832, and Governor and Commander-in-Chief of the Leeward Islands from 1833 to 1836, and the Governor of Barbados from 1841, Governor of Barbados from 1836 to 1841. He died in 1841, buried in the cathedral, in the vault of Alexander Irvine, founder of the masonry in this island. The tablet is placed by the Clan Gregor Society. Now going through the south gate of the Cathedral Church. The south gate leading you back to St. Michael's Row. You can see the Taylor Cycle Center ahead of me. Taylor Cycle Center. So this is St. Michael's Row out here. St. Michael's Row in Bridgetown. Oh, this is St. Michael's Row in town. Look at the wires. Back to the river bus stand, Constitution River bus stand. So that was the south gate I showed you, which is St. Michael's Row. And the gate I came to was the western gate. The northern gate, sorry. The grave of another one of our national heroes. In this church, you will come across the grave of a lot of national heroes and prime ministers as well. The grave of Sir Hugh Worrell Springer, who was the Governor General. He was born the 22nd of June 1913 and died the 14th of April 1994. And he was the Governor General of Barbados from February 24th, 1984 to the 30th of April 1990. As I said before, people don't get buried in this cemetery anymore unless it is a by grave. The grave of Ethel Gittins Connell. So Hugh Springer's grave. The grave of Sir Dighton Lyle Ward. Sir Dighton Harcourt Lyle Ward, who was also the Governor General. So Hugh Springer that I just showed you succeeded him after Sir Dighton Ward died in office. Sir Dighton Ward was born the 16th of May 1909 and died the 9th of January 1984. He was the Governor General of Barbados from the 17th of November 1976 to the 9th of January 1984. And his wife Doreen Lady Ward is also buried in here. So the Governor Generals and Prime Ministers and their wives are all laid to rest together in the cemetery. This church doesn't bury people anymore, unfortunately, unless it is a by grave. It will have to be a by grave, a grave like a husband buried, a wife buried with a husband. All here is tombs. Hi, morning. Back in this church again. So this is one of the oldest churches in Barbados, in the Anglican Diocese of Barbados. The pipes for the organ now. As I said before, This is one of the largest organs in the West Indies, in the Caribbean, and in Barbados. So the pipes are situated in the western gallery. You can see all the structures in the church, all the monuments and the historic monuments. In memory of Major J.E. Griffith, born 1897 and died in 1972, Bioscope Commissioner from 1952 to 1957 as Sunday School Superintendent from 1930 to 1938. This church is famous with the long-serving dean of this cathedral, Dean Howard Critchlow, who was the dean here from 1972 to 2000. Dean Critchlow retired. He stepped down from the priest as dean here in 2000. So in memory of Sir Dayton Harcourt Lyle Ward, Governor General of Barbados from 1976 to 1984. He walked with the dignity of the true humility, respected and beloved in life, mourned by all in death. This tablet is erected by his widow and children in loving memory of him. All here is the Cathedral Church of St. Michael's and Our Angels. Morning.
Morning. Hello.
Hi. Now to the other end of the cemetery. The Central Bank of Barbados here. It's going to be from Adams Financial Center. Grave of Sir Gilbert Carter and his wife Lady Gertrude Carter, responsible for the laying of the spar over here. He's buried here as well. Knight Commander of the most distinguished order of St. Michael and St. George, born in Topsham, Devon in 1848. He entered the Royal Navy in 1860. Became Treasurer of the Gold Coast in 1879, Administrator of the Gambia in 1888. Governor of Lagos in 1890, and of the Bahamas in 1898, and of Barbados in 1904, which island he so loved that he returned here to make his home when his official career was over. Then on the 19th of January 1927 at Ilawa Court. Ilawa Court is the original official residence of the Prime Minister. Ilawa Court is at 2 Mile Hill. It's just not too far from here. 2 Mile Hill going up towards Bussa statue. The grave belongs to Grantley Adams, another national hero. He was the founder of the Barbados Labour Party, and he was the father of Tom Adams, who was Barbados' second president, who is also buried here. So Grantley Adams was born on the 28th of April 1898 and died in November 1971 at the age of 72. National Heroes Day is observed on Sir Grantley Adams' birthday, which is the 28th of April. Since 1998, we have been observing Heroes Day on his birthday. Sir Grantley was the leader of the government and Premier of Barbados from 1946 to 1958 and Prime Minister of the West Indies from 1958 to 1962. His wife Grace is also buried here as well. The grave of Sir Sidney Lancelot Martin, who was born in Jamaica in 1918 and he died in 1991. Former Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies from 1965 to 1983, and principal at UWKFA campus from 1964 to 1983. His wife, Lady Brett Martin, is also laid to rest here, and their children, Roger, Richard, and Philip. So, Lance Martin is a Jamaican. Sydney Lancelot Martin. So this church has a lot of historic graves in it. A lot of people don't get buried here anymore. You can see how full it is. It has no space to enter anybody else. We have Tom Adams, who was Barbados' second prime minister, the son of Sir Grant Adams. Tom Adams was the one who invented the Spring Garden Highway, which is now referred to as the Mighty Grinder Highway, named after former Calypsonian, the Mighty Grinder. And he was also the one who invented the ABC Highway. Both highways were established in the 1980s. The Spring Garden Highway, which is now the Mighty Grinder Highway, was in the 1980s. Before Tom Adams also wanted to create the ABC Highway, but he did not live to see it completed. Tom Adams died in 1985, and the highway was completed in 1982. The ABC Highway was Tom Adams' vision, and the Spring Garden Highway, as well as the free bus fares for pensioners on the transport bus. Tom Adams also invented the central bank here in the 80s, which is now referred to as the Tom Adams Financial Center. So this is one of the biggest churches. We're not having the bishop ordinations or anything, just have it in here. More graves here. So all here is graves everywhere. So now we're leaving the church now. Thomas Perkins grave here as well. Cathedral, the Washington.